Hi children, happy Sabbath. This is Travis with Downey Seventh-day Adventist Church. I hope you are all doing very well this morning. I know many of you have started school or will be starting school, so I hope you guys start off strong. I know many of you will be doing school from home, which is a little different, but I know God and His angels will be with you and give you intellect and wisdom to continue learning from home or wherever you'll be learning. So I got a story for you today, and the story revolves around a family. A father, a mother, and their little baby, which is less than a year old. So this family had just moved into a new apartment, and the wife would always say encouraging things to the husband and the family whenever things looked wrong or they needed God's help. When they were in a situation where it just looked bad and they didn't know what to do, the wife would say encouraging things. So in their new apartment, they were far away from their church. And in order to get to the church, they would need to take a train and then take the subway, and then they would get to church. You see, this was in New York. They were in New York City. And the wife told the husband, before they went to church that morning, the wife said, "The Lord will provide." And the husband believed her, and he kept his faith. And so when they got to church, they met one of the members, and they were talking with one of their friends, and their friend knew a person that was selling a car. But they couldn't you see, they didn't have much money. But it turns out the friend was selling an older car for very cheap, and it was still in running perfect condition. So they ended up getting a car. It was a 1953 Ford. Now that's really old. And so the Lord provided the family a vehicle. And so the family got home and they had their brand new car. And then the landlord came to them. This is the owner of the apartment building. And he wanted to illegally raise up the rent price on them. See, they wanted them to pay more. But this wasn't legal. He was doing it in an illegal way. And the husband said, "No, I'm not going to pay your increase amount. I'm going to pay what we have on paper, and that is what is on paper, and that's what legally I must pay, and that's all you're going to get." And so the landlord said, "Okay, have it your way." See, the landlord had two sons that lived in the same apartment building. And so the next Sabbath, the husband and the wife got in the car getting ready to go to church, and the husband noticed that the gas was empty. So he goes to the gas station, and this was a time when people would come and fill up your gas for you. So the gas attendant comes in and is about to fill up the gas, and he tells the husband, "Hey, someone put sugar in your gas tank. This would have destroyed the motor." And the gas attendant said, "I can fix that for you." So he goes and takes out the tank, cleans it out, puts it back in, and gasses up the car. And the wife told the husband, "You know what? The Lord will protect." And so they came home and all was well. The next Sabbath, this was the second Sabbath after this happened, they were on their way to church, and they got in the car, and the husband was kind of looking at the vehicle, making sure everything was okay, and he looked up, and he seen on the window, there was the two boys, the two sons of the landlord, and they were laughing, and then they ran away from the window. And the husband didn't know what had happened or what they had tried to do, until he looked down and he noticed that his tires were flat. Luckily, there was an automobile shop right around the corner, So he drove over there, and the mechanic was able to pump his tires and patch the holes. And so when they got home after the Sabbath from church, the boys were at the window and they were shocked. The two boys that were trying to do bad things to the family's car and harm them, they were shocked. So then the next Sabbath comes. This was the third Sabbath. And the husband, the wife and the baby are in the car, and the husband looks back and he sees in the window the two boys are there, and they had this evil look to them. And so the husband checks the car and he can't find anything wrong. So he goes, he starts the car, and they start driving to church, and they start hearing a squeak. They're like, ee-er, ee-er, ee-er. And so the husband pulls over and he notices the wheel, one of the wheels of the car had one nut on it. You see, the wheels have usually around 5 nuts that hold the wheel to the car. But one of the wheels had one nut, so it was hanging on barely, and it was very loose. You see, the family could have been in real trouble from these pranks the kids were trying to pull. And so luckily, he was able to take a nut off of the other 3 wheels. He took one off, another one, and another one, and he was able to keep that wheel on there with those nuts. So they got to church safely, and they got home safely. And when he got home, he looked up at the apartment window, and he seen the 2 boys, and they were furious. They were mad. So now the 4th Sabbath came up a week later. And the husband thought in his head, the Lord will continue to protect us. So they go to church. They have a wonderful day at church. Nothing went wrong with the car. And they get back home. And he tells his wife and the baby, he tells the wife, go inside, I'll meet you in the house, in the apartment building. And he goes and he does some things around the car, double checks once he gets home. And then he goes up to get into his apartment, and he notices his wife and the baby are sitting on the steps. And he says, what happened? How come you guys aren't in the home? And the wife looks at the husband and she says, someone jammed the keyhole where they put the key in. Someone put something in there so the key couldn't go in to open the door. And the husband prayed. He says he knew it was those kids, the landlord's 2 sons, trying to get to them. And he prayed that the Lord would make a way so they could get into the home. And so the husband goes out front and he notices the kitchen window is cracked open. So he jumps on the gate and he's able to jump through the kitchen window, and he lets the wife in and he changes the lock. That next day, that Sunday morning after the Sabbath, the landlord and the 2 sons are there, and they are so shocked, and they apologize, and they say, I'm sorry for trying to harm the family, because they told them that they were trying to tell the devil to attack the family. But you know what? They realized that the family had a stronger power behind them, and that was God. You see, God protected the family, and that's because the family put all their faith in God and His protection. You see, God is the ultimate power in this world. Not even the devil and his demons could come against God. No one on this earth can go against God and His will. So remember, when times are tough, think about some positive things to say. God is good. The Lord will provide. The Lord is my strength. God is with us. Who can be against us? Or one of my favorites, when things look bad, Jesus is coming soon. And when He comes, He's going to make everything better. So remember, kids, when you find yourself in a bad situation, pray to God and encourage each other. Say something that's going to encourage another person when things look down. and always point to God, because that's the true power that we have. Have a wonderful Sabbath day.